The air crackled with tension as Emily Carter's voice sliced through the summer heat. "This is over!" she shrieked, jabbing her phone to dial 911. "I'm having you kicked out today!" But then, in a twist that could have been scripted by fate, her smug grin vanished. "Police officers at my pool party didn't slap cuffs on me, they slapped high fives with their buddies." Emily's world unraveled when an officer declared, "Ma'am, we're here for a police fundraiser." Where are you watching this epic showdown from? Drop your location in the comments. I'm dying to know how far this tale of backyard justice has traveled. This wasn't just neighborhood gossip. It was a battle to topple a dictator who'd terrorized our community with petty fines and intimidation for years. Watching Emily realize she'd called the cops on their own event was a splash of karma sweeter than any cannonball dive. I'm Jake Thompson, a high school history teacher and former police internal affairs investigator. 6 months ago, I moved into Willow Creek Estates, a prestigious neighborhood I dreamed of since I was a kid. After a decade of pinching pennies, surviving countless mortgage rejections, and sinking $750,000, my entire savings, into a charming 2-story colonial, I finally made it. The house, with its green shutters and flawless lawn, wasn't just a home. It was proof I'd climbed the ladder, even after swapping cop life for the classroom. But my victory lap didn't last long. On moving day, as I hauled boxes under the blazing sun, a sharp throat clearing stopped me cold. There stood Emily Carter, late 50s, with silver blonde hair so perfect it screamed control freak. Her silk blouse and glittering jewelry screamed money, but her icy eyes screamed trouble. "I'm Emily Carter, president of the Willow Creek HOA," she said, her voice syrupy but her gaze dissecting me like a lab specimen. "Welcome to our community." Her handshake was limp, her tone laced with suspicion. "What do you do, Mr. Thompson?" she asked, eyeing my faded jeans and Ohio State tee. "High school teacher," I said, keeping it light. "Used to work internal affairs for the police, but I wanted steadier hours." Her eyes flickered, not fear, but wariness. "A teacher? How interesting you can afford a home here," she said, her words dripping with condescension. I just smiled. Saved for years. Got lucky with the market. After Emily left, promising to deliver the HOA rulebook, a real welcome arrived. Lisa Bennett, my neighbor 3 doors down, showed up with a bottle of Cabernet and a warning. "Emily runs this place like her personal empire," she said, pouring wine on my empty patio. "Her husband built most of these houses, including yours. When he died 5 years ago, she turned the HOA into her throne. 3 families left last year because of her harassment." Lisa's words hit hard. One of those families, the Millers, were friends of a college buddy. I remembered them raving about their dream neighborhood, before abruptly selling with no explanation. Now it clicked. Emily wasn't just strict, she was a bully with a clipboard, targeting anyone who didn't fit her vision of luxury cars and gala dinners. The next morning, my welcome continued with an HOA violation notice. My trash bin was 6 inches too far from the curb. A $50 fine loomed for future slip-ups. By week's end, 2 more notices arrived, one for unapproved, white curtains, not the exact eggshell shade, and another for grass half an inch too tall. My jaw clenched, but I'd spent 15 years in law enforcement. I wasn't about to lose it over petty power games. This wasn't about curtains or grass, it was about control. Emily's reign was relentless. Notices piled up. A Memorial Day flag was excessive decoration. A tomato plant was unauthorized vegetation. My 5-year-old sedan was inappropriate. Fines escalated, $25, $50, $100 per violation. At this rate, I'd owe $1,000 a month. Every morning, I watched Emily patrol with her clipboard, snapping photos of my crimes, like a detective on a murder case. I tried complying, $300 on, correct, curtains, automated sprinklers, a pro lawn service, but the violations kept coming. After a notice for Excessive water runoff. From an eco-friendly car wash, I'd had enough. Spotting Emily across the street, I approached with a fake smile. Mrs. Carter, can we talk about these notices? Am I missing something? Her eyes flashed with panic before hardening. Rules prevent chaos, Mr. Thompson. Without enforcement, this neighborhood declines. I won't let that happen. Her words sounded rehearsed, like a mantra masking something deeper. That night, Maria Lopez, a housekeeper for several neighbors, knocked on my door. Glancing nervously, she whispered, Mrs. Carter changed after her husband died. She talks to his picture, promising to protect his legacy. Controlling everything is how she copes. Maria's insight humanized Emily, but it didn't excuse her cruelty. An email interrupted my thoughts. An emergency HOA meeting was set for the next evening. The community center buzzed with tension. Emily, flanked by her loyal deputy, Robert Hayes, addressed the crowd like a judge. New residents must respect our standards, she said, glaring at me. Recent violations threaten property values. Her new rules, mailbox designs, outdoor conversation hours, were clearly meant to squeeze out undesirables, like me. When I tried to object, Robert shut me down. The message was clear: comply or leave. That night, I called my brother, Tom, a police captain. After hearing my saga, he chuckled. We're planning our annual equipment fundraiser. Hosted at your place. It's a win-win. You meet neighbors, support the cops, and Emily can't object without looking anti-police. A grin spread across my face. This wasn't just a party, it was a trap. Tom helped plan the event by my pool, a feature Emily apparently despised for its common use. It's legal, Tom assured me. Community events are protected under state law, even in HOA land. At the next HOA meeting, I pitched the fundraiser, a pool party for police families, proceeds for tactical vests and radios. Robert, not realizing it was my idea, called it excellent. Trapping Emily? Her face tightened, but she couldn't object without losing face. Lisa later confided she'd nearly sold her house after Emily's harassment drove out the Millers. You standing up to her gives me hope, she said. Then Maria whispered a bombshell. Emily and Robert planned to teach the teacher a lesson at my party, targeting the electrical system. I dug into the HOA bylaws and found gold. Tampering with property to enforce compliance was grounds for board removal. With my investigator's instincts, I installed security cameras and called a housing department contact. As the fundraiser neared, Emily fought dirty. She issued new noise and parking rules, spread flyers claiming my event was illegal, and warned neighbors to steer clear. I documented every move, building my case. The night before, Robert called, voice shaky. I've enabled Emily too long. She's funneled HOA funds to her accounts. I'm ready to flip, but I need protection. I smiled. First turn gets the best deal. Maria called next. They were in your backyard. Your cameras caught everything. The stage was set. Fundraiser day dawned perfect. Blue skies, warm sun. By 10 a.m., off-duty cops and families arrived, followed by curious neighbors. Permits were displayed, noise monitored, parking arranged. The backyard buzzed with laughter, kids splashing, parents chatting. At 1:15, Emily stormed in, clipboard in hand, Robert trailing nervously. Guests froze as she snapped photos, declaring, "This violates community standards." A 6-year-old, Officer Daniel's son, broke the tension. "Miss Emily, why no swimsuit? Don't you want to swim?" Laughter rippled. Emily flushed. "This is an unauthorized gathering," she snapped. The boy blinked. "My daddy's a cop. He says it's okay." Fuming, Emily called 911, reporting noise, alcohol, and parking violations. My heart raced, but Tom mouthed, "Right on schedule." 15 minutes later, Officers Daniels and Lee, party guests who'd stepped out for ice, rolled up in a cruiser. Emily rushed them, pointing at my yard. "Shut this down! The officer strode in, only to be greeted with cheers. Daniel's son yelled, "Daddy's back!" as Lee's wife offered food. Emily's confusion turned to rage. "Do you think police friends make you untouchable?" she hissed at me. I smiled. "Not untouchable, Mrs. Carter. Just well-versed in the rules." Daniels confirmed our permits and compliance. Emily sputtered, then stormed off, vowing, "The HOA's authority will crush you." I called after her, "See you at tomorrow's meeting. I've got some bylaws to discuss." The emergency HOA meeting was packed, the air electric. Emily presented doctored photos and edited audio, proposing a $5,000 fine and a ban on my gatherings. But as she spoke, phones chimed with my email, security footage of her and Robert tampering with my electrical panel and planting trash. Gasps filled the room. Robert, sweating, moved to suspend the vote. Emily snapped, "You're out of order!" Then the back door opened. "Jessica Torres, State Housing Department," a woman announced, flanked by two officials. "We're investigating illegal HOA practices." Emily paled. Residents erupted, airing years of grievances. Robert withdrew his support, and the meeting dissolved into chaos. Quietly, I approached Emily. "I know about the funds you misused and the families you targeted. This ends now, your choice how." That night, Emily texted, "I know what you're doing. Maybe I deserve it." Her self-awareness shocked me, but justice wasn't personal, it was for the community. The fallout was swift. Robert provided records of Emily's misuse of HOA funds for home renovations. Maria revealed Emily's orders to plant violations in yards. Emails exposed her strategy to oust families like the Millers. The housing department found 17 violations, from discriminatory practices to financial fraud. Emily resigned, agreed to repay funds, and faced potential charges. I organized a community meeting at the library, not for HOA business, but to rebuild. Residents shared stories, planned a fairer governance. Surprisingly, Emily attended, looking humbled. When I offered her the floor, she admitted her grief-driven obsession, apologizing without excuses. Lisa thanked her honesty, and the room exhaled. The HOA was dissolved, fines reversed, and a new board elected with transparent rules. 3 months later, Emily approached me while I gardened. "Can I volunteer for the community garden?" she asked. I nodded. "We need your eye for detail." She smiled, a real one. Willow Creek transformed. The garden bloomed, cookouts replaced violation notices, and our story went viral, inspiring other neighborhoods. This wasn't just about a pool party. It was about standing up to bullies, healing a fractured community, and finding redemption. When you weaponize rules, make sure your opponent doesn't know them better, especially if they used to bust rule breakers for a living. What do you think? Was Emily's downfall pure justice, or did Jake's trap go too far? Should he have shown more mercy, or was her public humbling necessary? Share your thoughts below, let's spark a debate. And while you're at it, weigh in on pranks and relationships, harmless fun or a recipe for drama? Like, subscribe, and let's keep the conversation going.